This virus is adapting, changing, mutating because it wants to evade all the immune system's areas. You can even call it the viral Jason Bourne, Omicron, the viral Jason Bourne. It wants to evade all this, and it does it by changing and shifting the spike protein mutation. Now, when the CEO of Moderna came forward and said it doesn't work, he's actually just looking at the antibody arm of it, which is one crucial, important arm, but not the only arm. In fact, he didn't give information whether it's a 2-dose regimen or 3-dose regimen. And US, Europe, as well as in Singapore, we are insisting on the 3-dose regimen of mRNA now. Is 3-dose sufficient? Third thing, and very importantly, don't forget, for immunity, besides the B cell, there's still the T cell arm that's very important. The T cell arm gets trained and limits the severity of illness. Now, if you look at Portugal, which is a highly vaccinated country, the footballers that fell sick, they're displaying asymptomatic or very mild infections. My guess is that these footballers were vaccinated. They may have got an infection because of the failure of the B arm with the evasion, but with a good T cell arm, they are able to make a severe disease into a mild disease or no disease at all. And that will spell out to be the pathway out of Omicron for the whole world.
For the whole world. So what you're saying, from what you're essentially highlighting, a 3-dose vaccine would offer protection, is your sense to this variant, given the early data?
Yes, the early data suggests that the 3-dose regimen, don't stinge on your vaccine, don't go for alternatives, get your boosters, and you are going to coast out the Omicron.
I also want to understand, Dr. Leong, very quickly on if because there seems to be a lot of concern around this new variant. And so if what you're saying is true, you're looking at milder symptoms, but more transmissibility and some sort of vaccine efficacy or effectiveness, then how do you put the picture together in terms of the heightened risk that is out there, or the heightened concern there is out there among governments, among societies, world around regarding this new variant?
Simply put, many countries are still not vaccinated. I'm with WHO. The world marches out of COVID-19 at the pace of the slowest nation. So what we need is everyone to get vaccinated, not just with vaccinations, but good boosted vaccines at the same time. Now, if you have a sudden surge in cases, and this is what Omicron is threatening the whole world, sudden surge in cases, even you have only 1 to 2% of hospitalizations, you will end up with a huge number that will overwhelm the hospital systems. At the end of the day, the key marker for how well we do with Omicron is actually the number of hospitalization, and in turn, the number of ICU beds required, and in turn, the death. If we can actually cut down the slope of infections, in turn, we can actually cope with the hospital capacities.